yourself in a kneeling position with the hands down by the sides of the body. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back down towards the hips on the out breath. Next breath in, breathe in deeply. On your out breath, turn the palms forward. In breath, push into the shins, raise the hands to the ceiling. On your out breath, fold forward from the hips, bring the hands to the floor. In breath, scoop the body through, lift up through the chest. Then release the chest down on the out breath, tuck the toes under, bring the chest back to the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Take a paddle of the feet in that downward facing dog space. And then bring those heels to stillness just for a breath. Bring the knees back to the floor, untuck the toes, bring the seat to the feet, hands down by the sides of the body. Take a breath in. On your out breath, turn the palms forward. In breath, push into the shins, raise the hands to the ceiling. On your out breath, fold forward from the hips, bring the hands towards the front of the mat. In breath, scoop the body through, chest and chin towards the floor, then lift up the chest. On your out breath, bring the chest back to the floor, tuck under with the toes, bring the chest back to the thighs, seat to the feet. Then push into those hands, push into those feet, lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Then maybe take a little paddle of the feet here and a nod and shake of the head. Bring those heels then back to stillness. On your in-breath, raise the right leg. On your out-breath, bring the knee to the nose and squeeze, hips stay high. Breath in, raise that right leg. And on your out-breath, bring your knee to the heel of the right hand, place the foot on the floor, untuck the back toes. Bring your weight onto your right hand, take a hold of your right foot and turn that foot underneath the body. Left hand comes back to the mat, then rock that left hip flexor in and out towards the sole of that right foot. And then after you've done that a couple of times, just let that hip settle nice and close towards the sole of that right foot. Lift up through the chest, push into the hands. Take a breath here. And then on your out breath, come down onto the forearms and settle that body over that right foot. Relax the head, stretch through the back of that neck. Just holding it in pigeon pose for a couple of breaths. Getting that external rotation of that right hip. One more breath here. Then to come out safely, come back up onto the hands. Tuck your back toes under, lift up your back knee, step your right foot back to meet the left to find that downward facing dog place. Have a paddle of the feet here. And then bring the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, seat to the feet, shoulders over the hips. Take a breath in. Breath out, turn the palms forward. Breath in, push into the shins and lift the hands to the ceiling. Breath out, fold from the hips, bring the hands forward towards the front of the mat. Breath in, scoop the body through and then lift up the chest. On your out breath, release that chest back to the floor, tuck under with the toes, chest back to the thighs. Lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. And then maybe take a little paddle of those feet and a nod and shake of those heads. Coming then back down onto the knees, untuck the toes, seat towards the feet, shoulders over the hips. Take a breath in. Take a breath out, turn the palms forward. Breath in, push into the shins, raise the hips, hands to the ceiling. Out breath, start to fold from the hips, bring the hands forward to the front of the mat. Scoop the body through on the in-breath, lift up through the chest. Release the chest back down, tuck under with the toes, bring the chest back towards those thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Then maybe have a paddle of the feet and a nod and shake of the head. Bringing the heels back to stillness, your next breath in, your left leg lifts. On your out breath, bring that knee to the nose and squeeze, hips stay high. Raise that leg back up to the ceiling. On your out breath, bring that left knee to the heel of the left hand, bring the left foot to the mat. Untuck the back toes, bring your weight onto your left side, take a hold of your left foot, turn it underneath the body 45 degrees less or more. And then rock that right hip towards that right left sole of the foot. Do that a few times and then find a settlement with that hip, pushing towards that left sole. Breathe in, lift up through the chest, relax through the shoulders. Hold it here for a breath. And then let those forearms come down onto the mat. And then just let the head hang and stretch the back of the neck. External rotation of that left hip. And the more you squeeze that right bum cheek, the more you get a stretch through that right hip flexor. Breathing deeply here. As you hold this pigeon pose, you may be feeling a little stretch through the outside of that left hip. Then coming back up onto your hands to come out safely, tuck under the back toes, lift up the back knee, send your left foot back to meet the right to find that downward facing dog position. Have a nod, have a shake of the head. Then bring the knees down, untuck the toes, bring the seat to the feet, shoulders over the hips. Take a breath in, take a breath out, turn the palms forward. Your next breath in, push into the shins, shoulders over the hips, hands to the ceiling. On your breath out, reach forward with the hands. On your breath in, scoop the body through, lift up through the chest. Then release the chest back down, tuck under with the toes. Bring the chest back to the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips. Maybe take a little paddle of those feet. Then bring those heels to stillness, squeeze them back to the mat. Bring the knees to the floor, seat to the feet, untuck the toes. One more round of that earth salutation. Take a breath in. Breath out, turn the palms forward. Breath in, push into the shins, lift up with the hips, palms come together at the top. Breath out, reach forward with the hands to the front of the mat. Breath in, scoop the body through and lift up through the chest. Breath out, bring the chest back to the floor, tuck the toes, chest back to the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. Take a little paddle of the feet, nod and shake of the head. Then bringing those heels into a still position, squeezing them back. Bring your right foot onto the back of the left calf and squeeze that left heel a little closer to the floor. One more breath here. Bring your right foot to the floor, left foot onto the back of the right calf and squeeze that right heel down. Left foot back to the floor. Bring your weight into your left hand and stretch back with the right hand towards the left knee and turn, twist the shoulders, gaze underneath that left armpit. Bring your right hand back to meet the left. Put your weight into your right hand, bring your left hand to the right knee, gaze underneath that right armpit, strengthening through the shoulders. Bring your left hand back to meet the right. Come down onto the knees. Untuck the toes. Seat towards the feet. Take a breath in. Breath out, bring the hands to the chest. Namaste.